Do you have a few minutes for some self-care? Let's hop right into episode number 38 so I can share a motivating thought that could change how you feel for the better. Hi, I'm Clarinda, and you are listening to the Feel Light Mind and Body podcast, created for women like you. Women who are experiencing success in so many areas of life, but are struggling with weight loss, stress eating, and decreased energy. Losing weight can feel hard, heavy, and restrictive. That's why every week I will be offering you a different perspective, tips, encouragement, and a unique approach so that you can feel lighter in your mind and body rather than feeling deprived, frustrated, or discouraged. What if you could feel free, yet in control around food for the rest of your life? What if you could enjoy your experience of losing weight and getting healthier? You absolutely can. You're in the right place. Take this time for yourself and let's dive in. Many of us feel stretched because we feel like we have a lot of balls up in the air every day of life. Whether you're at home, at work, or even retired, you may feel like you can't keep up and feel frustrated or overwhelmed. Feeling that way is an indicator of a needed change. Either a change in your circumstances or a change in how you're thinking about the circumstance. As a life coach, I say, by all means, if you can simplify your life, then go for it. I do whenever it's possible. If you can delegate or say no to things that don't align with your top 5 values, then do it. That may take some work on people-pleasing, so if that's you, scroll down once you finish here and listen to episodes 22 to 26, as they will really help you. Trust me, I've done the work and I will continue to do so. Now, sometimes actually changing your circumstance, if that's within your control, can be easier than doing the work of changing your perspective about it. But let's say you can't change it, or you don't want to because of the result you want from sticking with it. A common example is saying how stressful your work is, yet you enjoy the financial payoff, the financial security, or retirement package. Again, you could choose to decide to do something different and then quit or retire. Regardless of which choice you make, here's my quickie challenging thought for you to consider. What if the goal in life isn't to have fewer challenges? What if the goal is to make your life easier by growing, becoming more adept, and more skilled at managing whatever comes your way? Just imagine for a moment what it would feel like if you could accept and be open to learning with each new challenge, good or bad, and everything in between. What if you could feel confident that you'll figure it out, that you'll find the right resource to give you the tools or help build the skills needed? If you could do that, you wouldn't have to worry ahead of time. Imagine how much bigger and richer your life could be. I've always loved the expression, live life out loud, but I also pictured it as being all fun and adventurous. But here's the deal. Life is pretty much 50-50. 50% good and 50% not so good. Think about it. How would we know how happiness feels if we didn't have anything to contrast it with, like sadness? So why not open yourself up to what you really want instead of shying away from your dreams in fear of failing? The realization that when I don't try, I'm just choosing to fail ahead of time was an empowering mindset change for me. Next week, I'll address those who aren't feeling challenged right now. It'll be a quickie so that you can consume it even on vacation, and I can enjoy some time off with Bree, my daughter, who I won't see again until Christmas. I felt to share this topic today as a couple of weeks ago, I had an onslaught of circumstances that I felt I couldn't change and were stressing me out and slowing me down. Have you had a week like that lately? I became my best client and did some self-coaching, and then I brought my thoughts to my weekly session of being coached by another life coach. What a difference. When we're in the spin and the heightened emotion, our vision can become clouded. It's like the analogy of being inside a bottle. It's hard to read the label from inside, but someone on the outside can read it clearly. Sometimes friends can do that for us, but having an objective, trained mind working with you for 45 minutes or so is powerful. A life coach is focused on finding a solution for the problem, rather than just commiserating, giving uncertain reassurance, or simply circling the problem with you, which, while it's well-meaning, it's limited and keeps you in the spin. There's times I am simply a friend, and I wallow with them. And then there's other times I'll ask, do you want me to put my coaching hat on for a moment, or just be a friend? And meaning, I can just say, that's not fair. I can't believe they did that. All of those things that we do for each other as friends. I love my friends and appreciate having them there to listen compassionately to my brain dump. It feels good to get it all out and feel like you're not alone. But if a solution isn't found, whether that's a perspective change or an actual way you can change the circumstance, the feeling returns if it hasn't been completely solved. I don't know about you, but I get tired sometimes of just going over the problem or trying to pretend it's not there or that it'll go away. To me, that heaviness, that stress is much harder now that I know what it's like to actually face things head on, deal with it so you can move forward. As a life coach, I help you deal with any area of life. I've lots of hard knocks experience along with professional experience in nursing over the years and now working full-time as a certified life coach for over 5 years. There's nothing more valuable and reassuring than dealing with your circumstances, both good and not so good, and still being able to focus on how you want to improve your relationships, your health, maybe it's your work situation, or anything else you're experiencing in life. It's definitely easier and more empowering to go through it with someone who has wisdom, experience, perspective, tools in her tool belt to share, and very sound judgment. If you're feeling like having some support, encouragement, direction, and motivation for what's in the forefront of your mind, or maybe has been lingering in the back of your mind, then why not be kind and compassionate to yourself and consider a life coach? Life is too short to stay stressed, sad, frustrated, feeling alone, or overwhelmed. It's also too short to just settle for what is and settle into complacency or mediocre. And more on that next week. As a coach, I come from love and belief for who you want to be in the future. We spend more time in your present and future than in your past. Therefore, every session we have will be a reset to what's possible for your life and for how you want to feel while living it. The Feel Light Mind and Body Way isn't only about weight loss. You may have read some of the testimonials of women who've said, yeah, the weight loss is wonderful, but what has been my biggest change, the most freeing, is the way I now think and feel. I can't put a value on how much that is worth to me. I had the fun of kayaking with Carol Morehouse this past week, along with 10 others. And it was so interesting because it was about a year ago, actually it was last summer, that we were kayaking and we met for the first time. And she can remember the conversation probably clearer than I can. But somehow, I don't know if she just started following me or if we'd had a conversation. I don't recall that we'd actually had a specific conversation about weight loss or life coaching. But anyway, she started to kind of see what was going on and reached out and did the Feel Light Mind and Body program. And along with getting healthier changes and losing some weight, she said the main thing that she loved, she was just saying it when we were kayaking this last week, is that she got her life back. That she now has a new way of looking at things, a different perspective, and she's enjoying life. Like she's enjoying the heck out of life. And that was just so beautiful to see her embracing it all, enjoying herself and loving being with others, but also being really comfortable and loving being with herself now. I still need to share a post from her. There's so many that come in that I want to be able to share. So keep watching on Instagram or on Facebook or on LinkedIn as I'll be sharing more as we go. I did take a picture of us together and got one of her yesterday. So we'll see. Maybe it'll be next week. Almost everyone feels a shift as early as one session, whether it's choosing one-on-one to work privately or whether it's when I have the group program. In fact, quite a few people have said they felt a shift after saying yes to themselves. Yes, they were worth investing in life coaching. They hire me for all kinds of reasons, not just for losing weight. Together, we help them navigate anything that comes their way. It's important to know that asking for help doesn't even have to mean you have a big problem, and it definitely doesn't mean that you're broken. You just want more for yourself, whether that's a feeling like ease, accomplished, or joy, or whether it's a goal you want to achieve and then be able to maintain successfully. Before we end, here's that motivating thought again. In fact, you will create it by answering the question we started with. What if the goal in life isn't to have fewer challenges? What if the goal is to make your life easier by growing, becoming more adept, and more skilled at managing whatever comes your way? Answer that and see how it makes you feel, or how it would make you feel if you could believe it. I'm here for you. I want to help you have an extraordinary, empowered life. So if you want to see if this is a fit for what you need, simply click on the link in the description to book your free 20-minute session. Together, we'll explore if this is a yes or no for you. I want what's best for you. There's no strings attached or pressure from me, because that's not the way I roll. Feeling pressured isn't how I like to feel, and I respect that for you as well. Okay, don't forget to follow this podcast, as you won't want to miss out on next week's quickie. If this one resonates more with you than next week's, I bet you'll have a friend that could benefit from one or the other. Thank you for listening, for being open and being supportive of this podcast. As you can imagine, it takes time, money, and creative thinking and energy to show up consistently each week. It also takes you intentional time to listen to the end faithfully and support it. I appreciate you and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now, do yourself the biggest favor. From love, take at least one action step from what you learned today. Knowledge without application won't give you the results that you desire. Let me know on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, what you are choosing to do and when. And yes, please leave a podcast review wherever you are listening to this. When people read your words and can see themselves in them, then you are contributing to women empowering other women. And that feels amazing. You just might change or save a life today.